Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cowboys and Cattle. In our premiere episode, we saw the darker side of Nathan Price emerge, while the family welcomed him back with open arms. Young Lindy overheard a conversation that chilled her to the bone Nathan's desire to take Amy away from Heartland. We watched as Nathan began to weave a web of future plans around Amy, dazzling her with promises of a legacy that Heartland supposedly couldn't offer. Today, that psychological game moves from the shadows of the loft to the harsh light of day. The dream is about to become a physical reality, and Amy is about to step foot on the land that could cost her everything. If you are worried about Amy's future and the fate of the Bartlett Ranch, please hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a chapter of this unfolding drama. Today's episode picks up immediately where we left off, in the quiet, dangerous intimacy of the early morning. This is episode 2. Heartland Ranch, the loft, early dawn. The world outside was still wrapped in a blanket of gray mist. The sun hadn't quite broken the horizon, leaving the loft bathed in a cool blue twilight. It was the kind of silence that usually brought peace to the ranch. The hour before the chores began, before the horses needed feeding, before the phone started ringing. Inside the loft, Amy Fleming and Nathan Price were awake. They hadn't slept much. The night had been spent in a haze of whispers and dreams. For Amy, it had been a release. For the first time in years, she had allowed herself to verbally wander away from the responsibilities of Heartland. She had spoken about what it would be like to have an indoor arena with climate control. She had laughed about the idea of never having to break ice out of a water trough again. To her, it was a game. It was escapism. It was the same as imagining what she would do if she won the lottery fund to think about, but not real life. Amy lay on her side, tracing the pattern of the quilt. Her eyes were soft, filled with the lingering comfort of the fantasy.
It's nice to just talk like this. I feel like I've been holding my breath for 5 years.
You have been. That's what this place does to you, Amy. It suffocates you with duty.
Nathan was sitting up, leaning against the headboard. His eyes were alert, predatory. He wasn't dreaming. He was calculating. He had listened to every word Amy said, every complaint about a frozen pipe or a difficult client, and he had filed it away as ammunition. He interpreted her what if as win.
We don't have to just talk about it. We can have it. The ranch I told you about, the one my friend is selling, it has everything you said you wanted.
It sounds like a fairy tale, Nathan, but you know I can't just pack up and leave. This is my home. Grandpa is downstairs.
Home is where you build your future, not just where you keep your past. You said it yourself last night. You're tired, Amy. You're tired of the struggle.
Amy sat up, pulling the quilt around her shoulders. She frowned slightly, sensing a shift in the tone. The playfulness was gone from Nathan's voice, replaced by an intensity that made her pulse quicken half in excitement, half in unease.
I am tired, but everyone gets tired. That doesn't mean we quit.
It's not quitting. It's evolving. Look, just promise me you'll keep an open mind. That's all I ask. Don't shut the door on your own potential before you've even peeked through it.
Nathan reached out, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. His touch was gentle, but his eyes were hard, demanding a response.
I'm doing this for us, for Lindy.
Amy looked at him. She wanted to believe him. She wanted so badly for someone to take care of her, to share the burden of the legacy she carried.
Okay, I'll keep an open mind.
Good, because we're going to see it today.
Amy blinked, surprised by the sudden acceleration.
Today, Nathan, I have clients coming at noon. I have 3 horses to work.
Reschedule them. This is more important. One afternoon won't kill the business.
He swung his legs out of bed, his energy manic and propulsive. He was already moving to the next stage of the plan. Amy watched him, a knot forming in her stomach. She had given him an inch, and he was taking a mile. But seeing his excitement, seeing the way he looked at her like she was the center of his universe, she pushed the doubt down. Downstairs, The kitchen. An hour later, the smell of frying bacon and strong coffee filled the kitchen. It was the typical chaotic symphony of a Heartland morning. Lou was pacing by the counter, phone tucked between her ear and shoulder, furiously scribbling notes on a pad.
No, I specifically said the organic certification needed to be filed by Thursday. If we miss that window, we lose the distributor in Vancouver. Yes, I know it's a hassle. Just get it done.
She hung up, tossing the phone onto the counter with a heavy sigh. She looked exhausted. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and there were dark circles under her eyes. Jack stood at the stove, flipping pancakes. He looked over his shoulder at his granddaughter.
You're going to burn a hole in that floor if you keep pacing, Lou. Sit down. Eat a pancake.
I can't eat, Grandpa. The beef initiative is hanging by a thread. And with Tim gone, has anyone heard from Dad?
Not a peep. Probably halfway to Florida by now. Or Vegas. You know how he gets when things get quiet.
Well, it's not quiet for me. It's deafening.
Just then, Nathan and Amy walked into the kitchen. Amy looked fresh-faced but slightly apprehensive. Nathan looked like he owned the place. He walked straight to the coffee pot, pouring himself a mug with an air of entitlement that made Jack's eye twitch.
Morning, everyone. Smells good, Jack.
Morning. There's plenty if you're hungry.
I can't stay for breakfast, actually. Nathan and I are heading out.
Heading out? Amy, you have the wildly untamed gelding scheduled for 10 and the jumping clinic prep at 2.
I know, Lou. I'm going to call and reschedule.
Reschedule? Amy, we can't afford to be rescheduling. Our reputation is barely recovering as it is. Where are you going that's so important?
Nathan took a sip of coffee, leaning against the counter, casual and cool.
I'm taking her to see the property.
The property? What property?
The ranch I told you about. The investment opportunity. It's a few hours east. I want Amy to see it before it goes on the market.
You just got back from there, didn't you? Seems like a lot of driving for 1 week.
It's worth the drive, Jack. You have to see this place to believe it. It's not just a ranch. It's a facility. It makes Heartland look quaint.
The room went deadly silent. The word quaint hung in the air like a slap. Jack turned slowly from the stove, spatula in hand. His eyes narrowed.
Quaint? Is that what we are?
I didn't mean it like that. I just mean this place has history. But the new place? It has the future. Heated floors in the stalls, automatic watering systems, 3 indoor arenas. It's grandeur, Jack. Pure grandeur.
Jack scoffed, turning back to his pancakes with a loud clang of the spatula against the pan.
Grandeur. Sounds like a lot of things that break and cost money to fix. Give me a solid post and a good hammer any day. Posh nonsense, if you ask me.
I have to agree with Grandpa. And Amy, seriously, is now the time? We are drowning in work here.
Lou, please. I want to see it. Nathan thinks it could be good for the business. Expanding our horizons.
Expanding? We can barely manage the acreage we have.
Amy looked at Nathan, then back at her family. She felt torn. Lou was right. The logic was on Lou's side. But Nathan was looking at her with that expectant, hopeful gaze. If she said no now, she would be proving him right, that she was trapped by her family, stuck in the past.
I'm going, Lou. It's just for the day. I'll make up the sessions tomorrow.
See? She deserves a day off. She deserves to dream a little. Haunted.
Nathan put his arm around Amy's waist, pulling her close. It was a possessive gesture, marking his territory. Lindy, who had been sitting quietly at the table eating her cereal, watched them. She saw the way Nathan's hand gripped Amy's waist a little too hard. She saw the way Auntie Lou rolled her eyes and Grandpa Jack set his jaw. Are you coming back for dinner, Mommy?
Of course, sweetie. It's just a drive. We'll be back before you know it.
Nathan smiled down at Lindy. It was the smile of a shark.
Don't worry, kiddo. I'll bring her back. Eventually.
Jack caught the tone. He didn't like it. But seeing the defiance in Amy's eyes, he knew that forbidding her would only push her closer to Nathan.
Go on then. Get out of here. But drive safe. And Nathan,
Yeah, Jack.
watch the roads. They can get slippery when you get too confident.
Nathan's smile didn't waver.
I'm always careful, Jack.
The drive. Mid-morning Highway 1 East. The landscape of Alberta rolled by the windows of Nathan's truck. For the first hour, it was the familiar foothills, the rolling green slopes, the distant peaks of the Rockies, the scattered pines. It was the landscape of Amy's soul. But as they drove further east, the land began to flatten. The trees became scarce. The rolling hills gave way to vast, open plains. It was flatter, windier, more industrial. Giant irrigation pivots stretched like skeleton arms across massive fields. It was efficient land, profitable land, but it lacked the wild beauty of Hudson. Amy stared out the window, a vague sense of unease settling in her chest.
It's different out here. Very open.
It's efficient. That's what you need to see, Amy. Heartland is beautiful, sure, but it's a bottleneck. The terrain limits you. The zoning limits you. Here, you can build anything. You can breathe.
Nathan kept his eyes on the road, his voice smooth and hypnotic. He was deconstructing her attachment to home, piece by piece.
Think about the winters back home, breaking ice, shoveling paths through 4 feet of snow just to get to the barn. The mud season where the trailer gets stuck every other day.
That's just ranch life, Nathan.
It's poor ranch life, Amy. It's the life of people who don't have options. You have options now. With my help, you can step out of the mud and into something clean. Something professional.
Amy looked at his profile. He was so sure of himself.
But the history, Mom died saving horses on that land. Ty and I built our life there.
And look where that got you.
The silence in the cab was sudden and heavy. Amy stiffened.
I'm sorry that came out wrong. I just hate seeing you struggle. I hate seeing you tied to ghosts. Ty would want you to move forward, wouldn't he? He wouldn't want you struggling with Lou and Jack forever. He'd want you to be the queen of your own castle. Howl, 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 howl.
He played the Ty card. It was a low blow, a manipulative masterstroke. Amy's eyes filled with tears. She didn't know what Ty would want. She barely remembered what it felt like to make a decision without grief clouding it.
I guess he would want me to be happy.
Exactly, and that's all I want.
He reached over, taking her hand.
We're almost there. Just wait.
The arrival noon. The truck turned off the main highway onto a paved private road. Unlike the gravel driveway of Heartland, this was smooth blacktop, lined with uniform white fences that stretched for miles. They passed a massive stone gate with an iron archway. There was no name on it yet, just a blank slate waiting to be claimed. As they crested a small rise, the property revealed itself. It was staggering. In the distance, 3 colossal white barns with green roofs sat arranged in a perfect U-shape. In the center was a courtyard with a fountain. Beyond that, a massive indoor arena, easily triple the size of the one at Heartland. There were manicured paddocks, automatic walkers, a veterinary wing attached to the main barn. It didn't look like a home. It looked like an institution. It looked like money. Nathan stopped the truck at the top of the rise, letting the engine idle.
Well, what do you think?
Amy opened the door and stepped out. The wind was stronger here, whipping her hair across her face. She looked down at the sprawling complex. It was objectively magnificent. It was everything a horse trainer could ever technically want. But it was cold. There were no trees to break the wind, no mountains to cradle the sun. However, the sheer scale of it hit her, the possibilities. No more worrying about space, no more turning away clients because they didn't have enough stalls. Amy felt her knees go weak. She actually sank down slightly, overwhelmed by the sensory overload.
It's beautiful.
It is, and it can be ours. It is, And it can be hours.
Nathan stepped out of the truck and walked around to stand behind her. He didn't look at the barns. He looked at Amy, watching her reaction, gauging her vulnerability. He placed his hands on her shoulders, leaning down to whisper in her ear.
Imagine the clinics you could run here. Imagine the horses you could save. You could save them all, Amy, or you wouldn't have to choose.
Amy closed her eyes. The idea of saving them all, it was her weakness. It was her calling. Nathan had found the exact pressure point to press.
It's like a new world.
It is your new world. We just have to be brave enough to take it.
Amy opened her eyes, looking at the pristine, soulless perfection below. She felt a thrill of ambition mix with the nausea of fear.
How could we ever afford this?
You leave the money to me. I have a plan. All I need is for you to trust me. Can you do that?
Amy turned to look at him. The wind blew his hair, making him look wild and passionate. She didn't see the predator. She saw a savior.
I trust you, Nathan.
Nathan smiled. It was the smile of a man who had just won the lottery.
Then let's go take a tour. Let's go pick out your office.
As they walked back to the truck to drive down the hill, the camera panned back up. High above the pristine white barns, a hawk circled, hunting for prey in the open, defenseless field. The shadow of the bird passed over Amy, but she didn't look up. She was too busy looking at the shiny golden cage that Nathan Price had just unlocked for her. Meanwhile, back at Heartland, Lou was staring at a spreadsheet that didn't make sense, a discrepancy in the accounts that she couldn't explain. That concludes today's episode of Heartland. We have witnessed the seduction of Amy Fleming. Nathan has successfully transported her from the safety of her home to a dazzling, sterile new world that appeals to her ambition and her exhaustion. He has used Ty's memory to manipulate her, twisting her grief into a weapon to sever her ties with the past. The sight of the new ranch has brought Amy to her knees, not in prayer, but in submission to a dream that isn't hers. But the cracks are starting to show elsewhere. Lou is stressed, but her business instincts are sharp. She knows Nathan's timeline doesn't add up. She knows the grandeur is suspicious. And Jack's silence speaks volumes. He gave permission, but his watch the roads warning suggests he knows a crash is coming. Now that Amy has seen the new world, can she ever be happy at Heartland again? Has Nathan planted a seed of discontent that will grow even if they don't buy the ranch? And what is the plan Nathan has for the money? We know it involves leverage. But how deep does the deception go? If you are terrified for Amy's future, please like and subscribe, and tell us in the comments what do you think Amy's response will be. We'd love to hear your take. Until next time, this is Cowboys and Cattle.